Customer service. A great selection of over 500 new Kias in inventory like a new Forte or Sportage. With competitive pricing and flexible financing options, we'll get you some of the best rates possible on the new Kia of your dreams. Our state-of-the-art service center will keep your new Kia in top condition, and we believe in giving back to our community. Stop in today and experience the difference at Doral Kia. The great deals are at Doral Kia and DoralKia.com. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce!
It's Spruce, the new hardworking, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
The best results from Zepbound, the best price from Future Health.
Future Health weight loss.
Listen to Football Fridays for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Mamelodi Sundowns FC take on Fluminense FC. Wednesday, June 25th at Hard Rock Stadium, part of the FIFA Club World Cup. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to 940wins.com/rules.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Josh from 21 Pilots, describing the first time he heard one of their songs on the radio.
It was in my hometown, and I was driving around with my sister. We were at a stoplight, and the song came on, and I kind of thought it was a CD for a second. And my sister told me that it was actually on the radio, on our big radio station. And the light turned green, and I was kind of mesmerized for a second, just kind of taking in the moment. And then the light started turning yellow, and I'm like, oh, I should probably drive. People are honking and everything.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from your favorite artists.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins, and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
All right, nice job, man. I'm fired up here tonight. Welcome. We're live from Lone Depot Park here in Miami. Beautiful 3:05 on a 88-degree Tuesday night. Roof and walls are slammed and shut. We'll play inside the comfortable air condition. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. It's Fox Sports 940 Miami. Game 71 of 162. Last night we saw Sandy Alcantara make some history in a defeat at the hands of the Phillies in Game 1 last night, snapping a 3-game win streak for the Fish. And tonight, Marlins fans will see an old friend, Jesus Luzardo, who was traded in the offseason to Philadelphia. He will make his first start back in the place he called home the last couple of seasons here at Lone Depot Park. We're fired up to bring you Game 2 of a 4-game set between the 43-29 Philadelphia Phillies and your 28-42 Miami Marlins. We mentioned Luzardo. He'll make his 15th start of the season. Clayton McCullough will give the ball to his 30-year-old veteran right-hander Cal Quantrill for the 14th time in 2025. First pitch slated for 6:10 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Tuesday night with Jack McMullen and Kelly Sacco. I'm Steven Strom. I mentioned the great Ahmed. He's back in the studio holding things down. Originally, of course, this game was supposed to go at 6:40. We moved it to 6:10. Go Panthers tonight. We will get you the lineup for the show. I fear we're going the distance, and we got a lot of ground to cover tonight. I would say a power-packed broadcast if you had to really throw me on the spot. We thank you for your participation. We will talk about Sandy making history last night. Tom McCarthy, who has been on TV for quite some time, the voice of the Philadelphia Phillies, will join the program. We'll get you at the count with Cal and Luzardo. Jack and Kelly will jump in for some back and forth. Got some great news on Clayton McCullough's front. X-Poll question of today at Marlins Radio and Steve's Guarantee to victory. Okay, so last night, Sandy Alcantara surpassed Josh Johnson for the second most strikeouts in franchise history. Josh Johnson had 832. Sandy now has 834. Let's listen to how it sounded on the record breaker to move into second place last night by our very own Jack McMullen.
The 1-2 pitch is cut on and missed and move over Josh Johnson. Sandy Alcantara is now in sole possession of second place on the Marlins all-time strikeout list. That was number 833. He moves past Johnson, and the only guy in front of him is Ricky Nolasco at 1,001. Congratulations, Sandy Alcantara.
All right, so that's how it sounded last night. Again, Sandy Alcantara, second all-time in the strikeouts list in this franchise history. Let's hear what Sandy had to say last night on the accomplishment.
So great opportunity for me. I'm feeling like very grateful and thankful to this organization for the opportunity that they give me in 2018 when I came here for the first time, and now putting my name on the second place, the most strikeout guy, so it's made me feel great, and nothing much than feel like grateful, like I say, and thankful to this organization, and everything I do for the team, that's what I do. It's great, like I say, have my name on that list, it made me feel more happy, but I don't want to be the second, but I would love to be the number one, but let's see what happens. So I just gotta keep doing my best every fifth day, and try to give the opportunity to the team to win the game.
So that was Sandy Alcantara last night. And for Sandy, he is a big part of this organization in the history. He ranks third in Marlins franchise history in innings pitched, game starts, and complete games. So congratulations again to Sandy Alcantara, who surpassed Josh Johnson last night for the second most strikeouts in franchise history. We got a lot more to cover. Coming up next, Tom McCarthy, the television voice of the Philadelphia Phillies. We talk Jesus Luzardo's return. We talked about Sandy last night, what he saw, and much more as we get you ready for a 6:10 first pitch. It's game two. Marlins looking to punch back on the Marlins Radio Network.
Again, the runners go, and that one is a line shot past the dive of Abrams into left center field, a base hit. You got Stowers scoring from second. Hernandez breaks it down at third base, and it's an RBI single for Nick Fortes. Insurance for the Marlins. Their lead up to 5. It's 7-2 here in the top of the fifth. 2-2. James Wood laces one out to left field and deep. Hernandez is back. Hernandez reaching up. Heriberto Hernandez makes the catch. On the run, Hernandez jumps up and spears that ball right in front of the Marlins bullpen in left center field. Great play by Hernandez, and there's one away in the bottom of the fifth. See.
The 1-1. Liner in the air to center field. It'll get down for a hit. Sanchez scores from third base, and Liam Hicks continues his hot hitting. He walked in the first. He's got an RBI single here in the third to tie the score at 1.
Obviously through. Brad Lord may have a tougher job.
1-0 line drive pretty deep to right field. Call going back, looking up, and that ball is gone. Jesus Sanchez crushes a long home run just to the left of the Nationals bullpen. It's his 6th homer of the year, and Miami moves to 3-1 in the 7th over the Nationals.
With their traditional home whites, they go with this light blue City Connect top. A 1 pitch. That one popped up right side of the infield, drifting into shallow right. Second baseman Garcia is calling for it, and Luis Garcia dropped the ball. Stowers comes in to score. Myers went to third base. Garcia nonchalantly was positioned to catch the final out of the inning, but he flat out dropped the baseball, and the Marlins add a run to their advantage. It's 4-1 here in the top of the 8th inning.
Schedule your free inspection today. Terminix, where trust and protection hit a home run.
Welcome back here to Marlins on Deck on this Tuesday night. A little earlier start, 6:10, the second game of 4 between the Phillies and the Marlins. Steven Strom, Tom McCarthy. What year is this for you, by the way? I should have looked this up.
This is actually my 25th year in the big leagues, yeah. 25th, 23 with the Phillies. I left for 2 years to go to the Mets. in 06 and 07. But, yeah, 25 years.
Before we get into the pitching, I do have a broadcast question for you. Give me an evergreen trait that you've done since the beginning that you feel you should carry for the rest of your career.
Boy, that's a good question. I think it's evolved as it's gone on, honestly. I mean, there's things that I probably did in the minor leagues that I probably should still do now that I don't do. I think the biggest thing I do is when I wake up in the morning, I immediately go to what happened in the division to know that going into the day. I don't know why I've done that ever since I was in the Eastern League. I did it, to find out what Akron was doing, what Reading was doing, what New Britain was doing, and I've kind of done the same thing. My system and setup is pretty much the same. The only thing that's changed is my score sheets have changed a lot over the years, but that's just evolving.
Well, one thing that has changed is Sandy Alcantara over the last couple of starts, the last three. Just curious from an opposition broadcast perspective, what did you see from Sandy last night?
I thought he looked like Sandy, or the closest thing to Sandy. I thought the first time we faced him, his fastball was kind of flat. We did have 25 foul balls last night. I mean, that shows that we were probably just a tick off, or maybe he was a tick off. But he also, he sat 98 basically the whole night. I thought that was really good. I thought his other stuff was good too. I think it's only a matter of time before he continues to get better. I mean, 3-8 is not indicative of who he is, and I think that he's, as he said, he wants to catch Ricky Nolasco. I don't think there's any reason to think he's not, unless he moves on. But he's not going to catch him if he stays here. He's going to blow right past him.
Yeah, congratulations again to Sandy Alcantara. There's some really good storylines for this series, including Jesus Luzardo, who makes his return home. He did face the Marlins earlier in April. But this guy was in the Cy Young conversation early on. He has the 2 starts of 20 earned runs, but then he bounced back last week. What was the change he made?
He stayed out of the middle of the plate. I mean, that was the biggest thing. I mean, you guys know from watching him over the years, when he's not effective, he's in the middle of the plate, and the fastball just becomes a normal fastball. When he is on the edges, then it's not a normal fastball. And I think that's what he did in his last outing against the Cubs, and he needs to do that. They were rough outings. He's tinkered with his motion a little bit because there was a thought that maybe he was tipping his pitches. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it didn't really affect him adversely his last time out. I know he's pumped to pitch here tonight. I know he's pumped for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Yes. I know he's pumped for his mom's birthday. There's a lot that he's pumped about. And, it's kind of cool to see him interact with all of you and the writers here, because we see now closely how good of a person he is. You guys saw it for a long time.
Tom McCarthy with us now. Last one for you, bigger storyline. Nick Castellanos out today, or Zach Wheeler retiring after his contract?
Well, the Nick Castellanos part of it is part of baseball. That happens all the time. I mean, he said some inappropriate things, according to Rob Thompson. So Rob doesn't, mince any words. Yeah, he doesn't play. So he probably gives a little latitude sometimes, but I don't think this time. And he and Nick have talked today. They've had some great conversations, apparently. So that's part of baseball. The Wheeler thing, it's funny. Zach is one of the most amazing people that I've met in this game. I love talking to him. He's kind of like Greg Maddux used to be. He talks on the day he pitches. I love that about him. He'll sit in the dugout and you just chit-chat with him about things. When he signed the contract recently, he did make a mention that there's a chance it was going to be his last one. So when Matt Gelb from The Athletic wrote a beautiful story about his love of junk food and all these things, because he's not a normal, today's pitcher when it comes to his...
Not doing the beet juice?
No, he's not doing the beet juice. He reiterated the story about when he signed his contract that once this contract's over, there's a pretty good chance he may walk away. Would not shock me if he does it, but we are very grateful. We have called him one of the best free agent signings the Phillies have had in the last 25 years. I mean, it kind of goes up with Jim Thome and people like that. So, whatever he does, listen, when the contract's over, he may be presented with another option to stay for another year or so. He could do that, but it wouldn't surprise me if he decided, I'm going to go home and play with my kids.
Thank you, as always, for the time. I appreciate it. All right, coming up next, we'll get you ahead of the count. Jesus Luzardo and Cal Quantrill, 6:10 first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Now more than ever.
Gone to junior college. 1-1. Line shot, left center field, up the alleyway. That's a base hit rolling all the way to the wall. Wagaman rounds third and scores. Norby getting the wave at third. Here's the relay, and Norby beats it. He scores, and going to second with a 2-run double is Dane Myers. It's a haymaker, and the Marlins have scored 4 times in the third. They lead it 6-0.
Again, the runners go, and that one is a line shot past the dive of Abrams into left center field, a base hit. You got Stauer scoring from second. Hernandez breaks it down at third base, and it's an RBI single for Nick Fortes. Insurance for the Marlins. Their lead up to 5. It's 7-2 here in the top of the 5th.
1 tonight and found a way to win 12-4.
That one driven high in the air out to shallow left field. That's headed towards the triangle. You got the third baseman Tana calling for it, but it drops between the shortstop and the third baseman. Xavier Edwards was gunning for second base, and the throw came in from the left field line to get X at second. Garcia was covering the base. The throw beat Edwards by plenty. Hernandez 2-2. James Wood laces one out to left field and deep. Hernandez is back. Hernandez reaching up. Heriberto Hernandez makes the catch. On the run, Hernandez jumps up and spears that ball right in front of the Marlins bullpen in left center field. Great play by Hernandez, and there's one away in the bottom of the 5th.
Come away with nothing.
That last sinker was at 100. 2-2. Wagaman lines one right side. That's through for a base hit. This may score 2.
.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Hey, this is Derek Hill, and you're listening to Marlins On Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
All right, we're rocking and rolling here on a Tuesday night, live from Lone Depot Park in Miami. This is Marlins On Deck. Steven Strom, Kelly Sacco, Jack McMullen. Those two have your call at 6:10. They will also join me in a couple of minutes here to discuss some storylines. Listen to your Marlins on the go. Download the iHeartRadio app. Make Fox Sports 940 your top preset to listen to every Marlins game. Again, congratulations to Sandy Alcantara, now the second all-time franchise leader in punch-outs. Big moment for him, big moment for the organization. Tonight, Jesus Luzardo, 27-year-old southpaw, will make his return to Miami for the first time. He'll make his 15th start of the season in 2025. He only made 12 starts with Miami last year in 2024 due to that back injury. He comes into tonight with a 6-2 record, a 4.23 ERA, 78 2/3 innings pitched. We talked about it with Tom McCarthy. Luzardo was in the Cy Young conversation early on. He had a 1.95 ERA on May 20th, not even a month ago. But after 2 starts, he combined for 20 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 home runs, 5 walks. He had a 31.76 ERA, believe it or not, but he did return to form last Wednesday in a 7-2 victory over the Chicago Cubs. Allowed 1 run on 5 hits over 6 innings pitched, 10 punch-outs. It was the 4th time with double-digit punchies for Jesus Luzardo. He did face Miami earlier in the year, back on April 20th. 7 innings, 2 runs, 8 hits, and 7 punch-outs. Luzardo will go opposite 30-year-old right-hander from Port Hope, Ontario, Cal Quantrill. 14th start of the season for Cal. 3-7, a 5.61 ERA. 59 1/3 innings pitched here in 2025. He did take the loss against Pittsburgh on Wednesday, allowed 4 runs, 3 of them earned on 6 hits, 2 walks. It was the first time since April 30th that Cal Quantrill gave up 3 runs or more. He's had 3 straight outings of at least 5 innings for Cal. That's what he really was brought in to do this year, to eat innings for Miami. He did pitch against the Phillies. It was one to forget. 3 1/3, 8 hits, and 7 runs. So that's your matchup on the mound. Jesus Luzardo, welcome back, old friend. He will go opposite Cal Quantrill here tonight at 6:10. Coming up next, Kelly Sacco and Jack McMullen will join me. We'll talk Jesus Luzardo and the key to victory in Game 2 as the Marlins look to bounce back after Game 1's defeat at the hands of the Phillies. We're back in 2 minutes. Marlins on Deck continues on the Marlins Radio Network.
Found out Dane's dating this girl named Mallory. Here's 2-2. Fly ball pretty deep to left, down the line, towards the corner. It's gone! Nick Fortes cracks a scoreless game open with a long home run down the left field line. And the Marlins grab a 2-0 lead here in the 3rd.
It looked like a worse miss than it actually was.
The 1-1. Line shot center field. That's a base hit. Lopez getting the wave around third. Here's Cruz's throw all the way in. It's offline. It gets by Davis to the third base dugout, and Wagaman takes second. So it's an RBI single for Wagaman, and he bumps up into scoring position, and Miami has a 3-0 lead here in the fourth.
Dane, I saw you were the first one in your handshake line screaming, good win. What made tonight a good win?
Yeah, been skidding a little bit. Like I've been saying since the beginning of the year, we're the fighting fish. That's a really good win. Close ball games is what we're going to have to win to be good this year, and I'm glad to see us do that.
How did Sandy set the tone for your team tonight?
Yeah, he set it from pitch one, attacking their hitters. Decent lineup over there. So for him to just attack them and trust us behind him is huge.
Over the weekend, Nick Fortes obviously had a rough Saturday. We know how bad he felt about the Weathers incident. For him to hit a home run tonight, how good did that feel as a teammate and also just a human being?
Yeah, it's huge. Like you said, 40 is kind of the glue of the team. Everybody felt bad.
AT&T. Vea es.xfinity.com. Requiere facturación electrónica y pago automático con cuenta bancaria registrada. Aplican restricciones. Equipo de impuestos y tarifas son adicionales. Después de la promo aplican tarifas regulares. Ahorros comparados a Verizon 5G Internet más una línea Limited Welcome y AT&T Internet 300 más una línea Limited Started SL. Requiere Xfinity Internet. Velocidades reales varían. Velocidades se reducen después del uso de 30 GB por línea. Los límites de datos y los ahorros reales varían.
Welcome back here to Marlins on Deck. A lot of great storylines in Game 2 of this 4-game set between the Marlins and the Phillies. Originally supposed to be a 6:40 first pitch. We are going to play here at 6:10. Vamos, Catos. That's what we're cheering for tonight after the Marlins win. That was a terrible night. I'm sorry, Kelly.
Or was that Gatos?
He said
was that with a C?
he said
Right?
Catos. Well, I kind of just combined it. I thought about it.
Happened?
Vamos, Catos.
When you have to commit, you have to go 110%. You can't go halfway. That's the problem, Steven.
That's Kelly, and that's Jack. Jesus Luzardo, another good storyline here tonight, Kelly. We obviously got a chance to cover him the last couple of seasons. I know you chatted with him before the game or before this series started here. What did you collect from your conversation?
Well, first and foremost, we talked about coming back here to Lone Depot Park in his home of Miami. Obviously, he grew up there in Parkland, as Marlins fans know. So I asked him, hey, was it a little weird going into the visiting clubhouse, the visiting side of things? He goes, surprisingly, no, because you get so friendly with the clubbies over there on that end of things with Rock and Jose and Diti. He said it did feel kind of like home there because of that portion, but he did joke with me and said, Kelly, I might accidentally walk off the wrong side of the mound today, so don't make too much fun of me. But I also think it's funny that he's getting the start today when the Panthers are playing. He's a huge Panthers fan, right? Go figure. So I said, hey, you racing out to the game after? He goes, no, it's Mom's birthday. Got to take her out for her birthday. So we'll see when we talk to him tomorrow if he made a detour to the Panthers game. Well, when it comes to baseball-wise, just that ERA a little inflated because those two clunkers, but he's really enjoying the best season of his career.
Yep.
And I asked him why he thinks that is. I said, we all knew what you were capable of. We've seen it, but why do you think this year? And he told me maturity is a big part of it. He said in the past, and we've seen this too, in the past, it's been kind of like a let it rip kind of guy.
Yeah.
Just go all out 110%. He said now it's more of a maturity, a calmness, collectiveness, and trying to be very precise and trusting everything that he has. So between that and adding the sweeper, which gives another thing for the hitters to worry about, he really says that he attributes those things to his success so far this year.
Yeah, I that's great, Kelly. And I was even thinking he was with Sandy the last couple of years, and now he's able to be around Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. I mean, hopefully he doesn't succeed tonight, but you mentioned the clunkers, 20 earned runs over 2 starts, and then last week against the Cubs settled in and looked like he returned to old form tonight. Hopefully he doesn't return to anything again. We love Jesus, but not tonight. And it's going to be tough with the division thing. Okay, another good storyline, Clayton McCullough today. Guys, what did we learn here about Clayton McCullough? And he might be busy over the All-Star break, Jack.
Yeah, he's not really getting an All-Star break. On Sunday, after that Baltimore game, he's going to fly to Atlanta instead of Miami, and I'm sure the family will meet him there. And he was going to be sitting in the dugout chewing sunflower seeds, according to Clayton McCullough. He
did say that.
He won't have first base coaching duties, but he is on the National League All-Star team's coaching staff. Dave Roberts, the skipper, of course, it's the World Series managers that are managing the All-Star game
the very next year, the Dodgers won the World Series last year, so the Dodgers skipper Dave Roberts gave Clayton McCullough a call before this season began and said, hey, I would love you to be on my all-star staff. A couple other guys were announced. Brian Snitker, the Braves manager, is going to be on Dave Roberts' all-star coaching staff as well. So Clayton is going to be hanging out. He's going to rub elbows with the best players on the planet. There will be a Marlins player in that clubhouse as well, and really cool to see the Fish represented in the coaching staff with Clayton McCullough handling things on Dave Roberts' staff.
You know who I will not be rubbing elbows with? Dane Myers. He's out tonight.
Dude, he showed us his elbow.
A cute way of
I
saying
couldn't even see. I couldn't even, like, it was so inflamed. It was, I don't even know how he, like, didn't react. I mean, he kind of reacted, but he kind of took it like a G. He didn't, like a G. He did. I mean, he kind of just sat there and was like, and then the trainers came out, and then he exited off. He's not in the lineup tonight, and we hope Dane gets better, of course, because he's been so good this season. Who's the next guy in this lineup that both of you feel needs to step up offensively over this homestand?
Kelly, you first.
Honestly, I don't want to place it on one person because that's not how this lineup is built. It really isn't. It is a next man up mentality, but it's just a 1 through 9 type of situation where every single night it's someone new. Dane has been on fire as of late, but when you look at the wins the Marlins collected over the road trip, it really was different guys standing out every night, whether it's Eric Wagaman. It wasn't showing in the box score, but he had the RBIs. He had 7 RBIs, which was second to Sanchez. Sanchez didn't collect the batting average. He didn't collect a ton of hits, but had a couple home runs. So he had 9 RBIs. So it was just kind of like everybody contributing. So I think it's just going to be a team effort.
Jack?
Yeah, I think Augustin Ramirez is swinging it in a way that he can really kind of carry the ship right now for Dane Myers, but a guy that I want to see get going in replacement of Dane Myers, I guess, at least offensively in the middle of that lineup, is Connor Norby. I would love to see.
We're all waiting on it. We all collectively feel this way.
I know, and that RBI single was a hot shot up the middle yesterday, and you hope that that's a sign of things to come. If Connor starts swinging it well, I feel really good about this lineup, kind of 1 through 9. There are some other guys that you're looking to get back on track, like a Kyle Stowers you would love to see get back on track, a Wagaman you would love to see get back on track, but Norby's that one where it's like, I feel like you're so darn close, man. Just knock down the door and bust through. And I feel like he could be close to doing that.
Norby, you saw the emotion too.
Yeah.
From him. So you think that, okay, maybe that emotion, that confidence starts to get going as well.
Yeah, we've kind of seen Stowers carry it for a little bit in the beginning of the season. We saw spurts with Augustine. We'll see here when Connor Norby gets going, what it looks like from like a wins and loss perspective. I will tell you this. He did face Luzardo earlier in the year. 2 for 3 with a double. So we can hang our hats on that. Good job, Kelly and Jack. We'll hear you two in 15 minutes. I never can tell time, but we'll break here. Expo question again, 6:10 first pitch. Go Panthers. And we will come back with Steve's guarantee, and then we'll play some baseball right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Found out Dane's dating this girl named Mallory. Here's 2-2. Fly ball pretty deep to left, down the line, towards the corner. It's gone! Nick Fortes cracks a scoreless game open with a long home run down the left field line. And the Marlins grab a 2-0 lead here in the third.
It looked like a worse miss than it actually was.
The 1-1. Line shot center field. That's a base hit. Lopez getting the wave around third. Here's Cruz's throw all the way in. It's offline. It gets by Davis to the third base dugout, and Wagaman takes second. So it's an RBI single for Wagaman, and he bumps up into scoring position, and Miami has a 3-0 lead here in the fourth.
Dane, I saw you were the first one in your handshake line screaming, good win. What made tonight a good win?
Yeah, been skidding a little bit. Like I've been saying since the beginning of the year, we're the fighting fish. That's a really good win. Close ball games is what we're going to have to win to be good this year, and I'm glad to see us do that.
How did Sandy set the tone for your team tonight?
Yeah, he set it from pitch one, attacking their hitters. Decent lineup over there. So for him to just attack them and trust us behind them is huge.
Over the weekend, Nick Fortes obviously had a rough Saturday. We know how bad he felt about the Weathers incident. For him to hit a home run tonight, how good did that feel as a teammate and also just a human being?
Yeah, it's huge. Like you said, 40 is kind of the glue of the team. So to see him come up clutch, first AB like that is pretty special.
How did you see your offense be opportunistic tonight against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think we just took advantage whenever they made a mistake. I like the way we.
And up now at MLB.com/pitch-hit-run. Take the Marlins wherever you go. Download the iHeartRadio app. Make Fox Sports 940 the top preset to listen to every Marlins game. We welcome you to Marlins on Deck here from Lone Depot Park. I'm Steven Strom, host of the program. We're steering you to first pitch about 13 minutes away, 6:10, Game 2 of this 4-game set. The Marlins dropped Game 1 last night, but congratulations to Sandy Alcantara, who is now second all-time in the franchise leaders of punch-outs. Kelly Sacco and Jack McMullen are with me as well. Good storylines tonight. Jesus Luzardo will make his return back to Miami for the first time since being traded. Nick Castellanos, his Iron Man streak is over. He is not in the starting lineup tonight. Rob Thompson said there were some inappropriate comments that he made post-game, and now the Phillies will be without what they've been without with Bryce Harper, but another offensive piece in Nick Castellanos. So the Phillies lineup looks a little bit different here tonight, but they still got their big boys, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Alec Boehm. Cal Quantrill will have his hands full here tonight. Let's get to our Expo question. Man, if you did not pay attention to this early on, this should be the easiest Expo question of the year, okay? Who did Sandy Alcantara pass last night for second on the Marlins all-time strikeouts leader? Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. Ahmed, I fear it's time for Steve's guarantee.
Batter up.
Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's guarantees.
Well, Dane Meyer's not in the lineup tonight. He got hit in the elbow, so he is not in Clayton McCullough's offensive repertoire tonight. And I would have loved to see Dane go opposite Jesus Luzardo, a good matchup for him and a right-hander being against a left-hander. But I'm looking at Luzardo and some of his mixes this year. 35% four-seam. Opponents hitting 324. Now, Luzardo's going to throw that four-seamer and that sweeper against a righty-heavy lineup for the Marlins. I'm looking at Augustin Ramirez, who's hit 263 against the fastball this year. He's never faced Luzardo. Again, Luzardo faced this Marlins team back in April. No Humberto Hernandez, no Augustin Ramirez, and 5 of Augustin's 10 home runs via the four-seam fastball. So I like that matchup for Augustine. Give me an extra base hit against Luzardo. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Kelly Sacco, she's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball is next. This is the Marlins Radio Network.
Still getting around to that fix on your car?